Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander's Course studio. Welcome to the show. So in today's episode, I really love doing these episodes and I love hearing your opinions in the comments below because there's a lot of opinions on just, well, you know, how I get some things right in your opinion, how I might get some things really wrong in your opinion on these kinds of tier ranking episodes, and everyone's got a different perspective, and I love seeing those other perspectives. So on today's episode, I'm going to be doing a tier ranking on the most powerful, or I should say the most popular, the most powerful out of the most popular Lifegain commanders out there. So with all that said, let's jump into it. So when it comes to these Lifegain commanders, I did take the EDH rec list of their most popular Lifegain commanders. I did tweak some things though, because there are definitely some commanders sometimes that they do pull that do have some like Lifegain effects in the deck, but that's like not the purpose of the commander essentially. And I did add some that weren't on that list as well. Now, this is not an exhaustive list. There are definitely going to be some out there you're like, what about this commander? What about that one? That is completely fair. There's only so many commanders I can include in this list though. And again, with like the thousands and thousands of commanders now that now exist, it's hard for me to essentially find every single one that belongs in this discussion. Regardless, we're going to start things off at the bottom and work our way up when it comes to mana value for the ones that I included. And first up, we got Dina, Soul Steeper. A crazy cool uncommon commander, a 1/3 Dryad Druid in Golgari that says, whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Pay 1, sacrifice another creature, gets +X/+0 until after X the sacrifice creature's power. Dina is a crazy cool commander, one that, well, of course, can be built like Aristocrat style, and there's some life gain effects you can gain from there, but also just, yeah, if you've got a bunch of different life gain effects on the board that repeat, and again, it doesn't matter how much life you gain at once. If you sacrifice a creature or whatever with some effect and gain like 10 life from that creature, cool. Yeah, that only just drains your opponents once. But if you do have a repeatable effect that just does 1, yeah, that's still the exact same thing, right? You can just keep draining your opponents over time with this, and I've seen this commander do some really powerful things. Of course, keeping in mind as well that this does have combo potential. I believe Exquisite Blood is the card, I think, that would combo with this one to go infinite. So yeah, it has combo potential. It also has the ability to just drain your opponents throughout the game. Also, yeah, that power can be a nice additional way to essentially, yeah, maybe pump Dina, get through some damage you really want to. But also, more importantly, that it is a sacrifice outlet, which usually comes in handy when you're utilizing like Blood Artist, Zulport Cutthroat, etc., etc., etc. Overall, I mean, it is a very powerful commander. I'd say there's a lot of really powerful ones on this list, though, so I'm going to start off, and I reserve the right to change my rankings as we go with the B tier. So B is the middle tier. I guess I should start off with that, too. D is the lowest, then C, B, A, and S tier is the best, so there we go. We're going to start off with that one. Now we're going to move on to yet another uncommon commander with Elas, il-kor, sadistic, pilgrim, which goes about it in a different way. Whenever the creature enters the battlefield under control, you gain 1 life. Whenever the creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Now again, this one can be built in a couple different ways. It's kind of like one of these Soul Sisters in a way, but just for your creatures, and also like a Zulport Cutthroat in a way, punishing your opponents when your creatures are taken out. So yeah, of course, this can be built Aristocrat style. Also, it can just be built life gain, though, if you're just like making a ton of creature tokens, which you are in colors that do that, especially white. Make a lot of creatures, gain a lot of life, have a lot of different benefits from that. So I guess, again, from in a life gain type perspective, I would say that this one is very good. Still, I'd say it's slightly lower than Dina with a life gain specific deck. So we're going to go with a C tier commander. Moving on, Gollum Obsessed Stalker. This one's a crazy cool card. A 1/1 halfling that costs 2 mana in total in mono black. Skulk, so it can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent dealt combat damage this game by a creature named Gollum loses life with the amount of life you gain this turn. So this commander, again, can essentially say, as long as I get 1 point of damage on my opponents and I have Gollum in play, 5 ways that I can gain a ton of life, I can take my opponents out in absolutely no time. And with Skulk, you can typically get through on your opponents quite easily. Even just getting this down on turn 2 consistently, you can obviously get through on your opponents with them not having any blockers most likely in play. So yeah, essentially, you can essentially drain your opponents out very, very quickly by gaining a good amount of life. Black has a good amount of life, ways to actually gain life, so make sure you're keeping that in mind. Overall, again, I think there are more powerful commanders out there. You are limited to a mono color. I'm probably going to move you up to the C tier to join Elas, il-kor. Let's do that. Then we've got Karlov of a Ghost Council, a 2/2 Spirit Advisor for 2 mana in total in Orzhov. Whenever you gain life, you get 2 counters on it. By paying Orzhov colors, move 6 counters from it, exile target creature. So this one, again, benefits you from utilizing a lot of different life gain effects. Again, the more instances of life gain you have, the more counters you get on this, and very cheaply you can deal with creatures quite easily. That being said, this really doesn't give you, I mean, it technically, I guess, gives you a win condition in that this commander can take out your opponents just by swinging through at them. That being said, obviously you got to pay a good amount of counters to get rid of the creatures to maybe get this through. So yes, it is a decently cool commander. It is one that is kind of limited in what its applications are. I mean, my gut says probably C or D. It's kind of like a C minus, D plus. So I'm just going to throw it in the D tier, at least so we can get something started down there, though I reserve the right to change that. Moving on, Trelasarra, Moon Dancer. We got a 2/2 Elf Cleric for 2 mana in Selesnya. Whenever you gain life, you get a counter on it and you scry 1. So this is a commander that can get absolutely massive in absolutely no time. Again, by getting a lot of instances of life gain in play, like again, Soul Sisters, etc., 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 and you've got even more Soul Sisters now that you're in green too. You can gain a ton of life, a lot of different instances of life gain to actually make this absolutely massive, and of course, scry 1, which is not card advantage, but it is card selection. It can really help you dig through your deck. That being said, at the end of the day, there's just probably other commanders in this list that are more powerful than this one. Again, I'm kind of leaning toward, and maybe I put Gollum a bit too high, but I'm leaning toward, I think at this point, putting this one down in the, it's either like a C or a D. Let's throw this one in the C tier for now. And let me just, scroll down a little too far on that too. Moving on, Bilbo, Birthday Celebrant. A 2/3 halfling rogue for 3 mana in total, white, black, and a green. If you would gain life, you gain that much life plus 1 instead. 2 in those same colors. Tap, exile Bilbo. Search your library for any number of creature cards within the battlefield. Then shuffle, activate only if you've got 111 or more life. This is a commander that does help you with life gain. Again, the more instances of life gain you have, the better, because again, if you gain 1 life, that basically doubles it to 2. If you gain, say, 5 life in a way, it would just add 1 more to 6. Still a nice additional benefit to get you up quite quickly. And of course, once you get to that massive amount of life, and there are some ways you can just out of nowhere, like double up your life total, that kind of stuff as well. So yeah, get to over 111 life, and all of a sudden, this is a I win the game ability, essentially. You can have a variety of creature combos, essentially. You can go get 2 creatures. I mean, like Tooth and Nail's like, go get 2 creatures. This is like, no, get all your creatures, essentially, right? Everyone's coming to Bilbo's birthday party. And so being able to get all those creatures out all at once can be a great way to take your opponents out in no time. I mean, even just getting Gary is probably going to be enough, right? Greyman Travaspidel, drain your opponents, essentially. So yeah, Bilbo, Birthday Celebrant. I think because you also just are a pretty powerful win condition, I'm going to throw you up in the B tier as well. Now, with all that said, let's take a quick break. And we are back, and back with one where I'm going to get a little technical on, and I probably should have also said that my perspective is coming from a casual player, one that plays decently powerful casual decks with his friends, but yeah, again, a powerful casual build is not quite a CEDH build. So yes, this is not from a CEDH perspective. Heliod, very powerful when you're building just straight up combo. A 5/5 legendary enchantment creature god with indestructible for 3 mana in total in mono white. As long as your emotional white is less than 5, it's not a creature. Whenever you gain life, you get a counter to a creature or enchantment you control. Pay 1 and a white other creature gains lifelink until turn. This one combos with a variety of things. Most, importantly though, Walking Ballista. Basically a 2-card combo. You just win the game just by having very minimal setup. So essentially, yes, if you are building straight up combo, yeah, this is probably an S tier commander because it is a very powerful commander in that build. That being said, when I'm taking it from a more casual perspective, I'm not going to be including that kind of a, quick win the game combo in, whatever turns. I'm going to be more so looking at it as, yeah, more of a casual environment where you're trying to win by like turn 8. Potentially turn 9, turn 10, whatever it is. And so being able to win with this commander, again, in a non-Walking Ballista way, being able to focus more so on being a life gain commander versus it being a deck that is focused on combo, I would say this one actually ranks pretty low compared to the other ones. Again, with the, full combo, just it could be an S tier commander essentially with this list. But again, with it just being a life gain perspective without those combos in there, how powerful is it? I'm going to say it is more so, it's like a DC kind of commander. So let's throw it in the D tier for now. Moving on. Shanna the Purifying Blade, a 3/3 human warrior with lifelink for 3 mana, basically ban colors. Beginning of your end step, you may pay X. If you do, draw X cards. X can't be greater than the amount of life you gain this turn. Was it Well of Lost Dreams? Is that the card? I don't know why I always struggle with that name of that card, but basically, hey, pay X mana when you're getting that much life, essentially. And this one's like, no, yeah, hey, throughout the turn, gain some life, and all of a sudden, at the end of the turn, how much you want to pay? You want to draw those cards? Yeah, I've played against Eddie's Shanna deck to know that is a pretty powerful commander. Yeah, you have a lot of different instances of life gain. You can gain an absurd amount of life, draw an absurd amount of cards. Drawing cards is a very, very powerful thing and a repeatable card source at that. Obviously, just with this commander, if you can protect it, swinging through, gaining 3 life, just drawing 3 cards for 3 mana, that's already very nice each turn. Drawing a lot more than that, though, yeah, it can be very powerful. I'm going to throw this one up in the A tier for now. Moving on, Vito, Thorn of the Dusk Rose. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Pay 3 black, creature control, gain lifelink until end of turn. Yeah, I mean, this again is a commander that can just combo with, I think, Exquisite Blood, right? Essentially, just saying, hey, okay, I gained 1 life. Yeah, you're all just drained. Or you lost 1 life, you're all just drained. So this is a commander that can combo. It is one that also just, again, benefits you based on just gaining life. Draining out a single opponent can be very effective in saying, like, this is basically just a Sanguine Bond in the command zone. And saying, hey, okay, I gained a bunch of life. You're gone. You're gone. You're gone. You can take opponents out decently well. It is limited to just mono blacklist. So that's definitely a factor as well. I'm going to have to throw you, Vito, into the C tier because of that, though. Next up, we've got Will, Scion of Peace. A 2/4 human wizard vigilance for 3 mana total in Azorius. Tap spells you cast this turn that are white and or blue cost X less cast for X the amount of life you gain this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Now, although Rowan is probably the more powerful out of these two, twins. I think they're twins, right? Brother, sister, whatever they are. It is not a life gain commander. It's a life loss commander. This one, though, on the life gain side is still incredibly powerful. Again, you cast something like, I think it's Congregate, gaining 2 life for each creature on the board for just 4 mana instant speed. Yeah, you can easily gain, like, in a game of Commander where there's 4 players, like 20 plus life very, very easily. All of a sudden, you tap this, all your spells cost 20 less. You cast any number of untap effects, essentially like a dramatic reversal, untap this plus your mana rocks, and all of a sudden, yeah, you can tap it again, reduce again. All your spells cost 40 less. Cast a giant X draw spell, draw an absurd amount of cards, do it again and again and again. Crazy things. It doesn't take much setup at all just to win with this out of nowhere. Yeah, I think so far this is definitely, in my opinion, the most powerful out of all of them. Definitely, in my opinion, an S-tier commander when it comes to life gain commanders. Next up, one that is not S-tier and one that I am still salty about when Wizards designed it in the way that they did. Willowdusk, Essence Seer, a 3/3 Dryad Druid for 3 mana total in Golgari. Pay 1, tap, choose a target creature, put a number of counters on it equal to the amount of life you gain this turn, or the amount of life you lost this turn, whichever is greater. Activate only as a sorcery. Wizards. Oh, okay. I just, there are certain times where activate only as a sorcery is important. There's other times when it's like, why? You're just limiting this commander, which has a cool effect, to just like, oh, okay, I can't use this for combat tricks. I can't use this as a deterrent for my opponents not to swing big at me because I can just punish them back. It is just a pretty, again, we're talking about tiers, right? We're talking about power level and what this can do. I mean, it's still a decent effect, obviously, because, yeah, you can control the amount of life that you lose very easily with something like a Mischievous Poltergeist or a Wall of Blood. So you can say, okay, cool, I got like 30 counters on this creature at sorcery speed, though, so your opponents can kind of deal with that when they need to. Yeah, I mean, this is interesting. It is limited in what it can do because that activated sorcery. It would definitely change. I mean, because I'm bitter about this card, I probably want to throw it in the D tier. I believe it is probably above D tier level. I mean, it's like a D plus C minus. Again, we're going to throw it in the D tier just because of that. Anyways. Moving on. Lathiel, the Bounteous Dawn, a 2/2 lifelinking unicorn for 4 mana in Selesnya. Beginning of each end step, if you gain life this turn, strip to that many +1 counters among any number of other target creatures. Yeah, I mean, if you gain a good amount of life and get a lot of counters on your creatures, it's a very solid commander. You might not realize just how much life you can pretty easily gain and be able to get a lot of counters on your creatures to make them absolutely massive in absolutely no time. Have a lot of other, counter synergies, a lot of other gain life synergies, which work well in these colors. I think overall a pretty solid commander. One that is, again, compared to some of the other commanders, I mean, there's a lot of competition out there. I hate to keep, filling up that C tier, but I think this is a C tier commander, not quite up to the level of those other two. Moving on, though, a very powerful commander, which I'm probably kind of, I'm going about it a bit too quickly and saying where this one might end up, but here we go. Treebeard, Gracious Host, a 0/5 Tree Folk with trample and Ward 2. Doesn't need Ward 2, Wizards. Just throw Ward on everything these days, it seems like, for 4 mana in Selesnya. Enters the battlefield, create 2 tokens, food tokens. Whenever you gain life, put that many counters on target halfling or tree folk. This is a tree folk. Yeah, again, like I mentioned earlier, like a simple Congregate can probably just turn this into a one-shot KO out of nowhere. Again, you basically are turning all these like instant speed, life gain effects, and spells into combat tricks. And again, this has trample, so you can get damage through. Or if you have another way to get it through, it's protected by that Ward 2 as well. You can essentially say, okay, cool, I swing, I cast this, you're gone. You can take out opponents quite easily with this out of nowhere, very quickly, very effectively. Yeah, if you get like a Swiftfoot Boots in play, your opponents won't know what hit them at all. Yeah, a pretty powerful commander. One that is limited to just Selesnya colors, though, but still a very good effect. I'm going to go with an A tier commander. If you had like access to like red, you can get extra combats as well. Yeah, it'd probably be even better than that. Moving on. Trostani, Selesnya's Voice, a 2/5 Dryad for 4 mana in total. In Selesnya, whenever another creature enters the battlefield and control you, gain life equal to creature's toughness, pay 1, a green and white tap, populate. So creating extra creature tokens, that's quite nice, especially when you have, big creature tokens like a worm, let's say like a 5/5/6/6 worm, whatever it is. make that cool. Gain 6 life as well. Obviously, gain life synergies. Overall, this one's kind of just lacking when it comes to actually, I mean, yeah, the populate can kind of give you like a win condition in a way, but you need a good enough setup for that. Padding your life total is nice, but it's not really giving you like an extra benefit for padding your life total with this. I think overall, and maybe I'm underestimating this one compared to some of the other ones, though, I think I'm going to throw this one actually into the D tier. We're about pretty heavy on the bottom side of this. We'll see if some of these last commanders can make up for things. Moving on. The Ace of Shroud of Dusk, a 5/5 angel for 5 mana in total in Orzhov. Rather than pay 2 for the previous time you cast this commander from the command zone, you may pay 2 life that many times, essentially. Flying a lifelink, 5/5. Whenever a player casts a spell, they lose 2 life. So this one's a commander that doesn't actually gain you life outside of the lifelink. It is included in this list, though, because it's a commander where you actually need to build your deck pretty heavy into gaining life in order to actually protect yourself. Or having life swap, which technically is like a life gain effect as well. Being able to say like a Soul's Conduit, okay, cool, you're at 40 life, cool, now you're down to 10 and I'm up to 40, whatever it is. But yeah, being able to drain your opponents in absolutely no time with this, being able to cast this for very cheap every single time can be absolutely massive. Yeah, a crazy good commander when it comes to that. I'm going to say that it is overall probably a B tier commander in comparison to all the other ones, though. Moving on. The Archimandrite. This one's quite spicy. A 0/5 human advisor for 5 mana in total in Jeskai. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain X life for X the number of cards in your hand -4, so that can be a good amount of life gain each turn. Especially since you are in blue, you can draw a lot of cards. Also red too, I guess, with wheels as well. Whenever you gain life, each advisor, artificer, and monk you control gains vigilance, gets +X/+0 until end of turn X amount of life you gain. Tap 3 untapped advisors, artificers, and or monks you control draw a card. Now, those are not the 3 most popular or powerful creature types out there. That being said, there's a good amount of them out there that are quite good, so you can utilize that. Obviously, changelings as well, like a Torian Mauler could be good too. That being said, yeah, it doesn't matter really how good those creatures are because you are able to pump them in an absurd amount. Again, gaining life, you can actually just say, okay, cool, I just, again, congregate. Gain 20 life very easily, maybe even more. All of a sudden, my creatures out of nowhere are +20 power, vigilant, swing through. If you can get damage thrown on your opponents, they're just gone. They're just absolutely gone. So again, this is a commander that doesn't require that much setup to just say, oh yeah, I'm taking out my opponents in absolutely no time. Yeah, some pretty good colors for that as well. I'm going to throw you up in the A tier for all that. Let's take a quick break, though, before we jump into the rest. Next up, though, let's move on to Aragorn and Arwen Wed, a 3/6 human elf noble with vigilance that costs 6 mana in total in Selesnya. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, put a counter on each other creature you control. You gain 1 life for each other creature you control. It's a nice effect. It's a pretty expensive commander, though, for what it does. You do have access to a good amount of blink effects in white to really take advantage of this. That being said, yeah, I mean, there's no real payoff for that life gain. You can build into the other life gain effects to pay off, obviously. I mean, the counters are nice as well. It does require a good amount of setup. I think overall, though, again, just a comparison to some of the other commanders in this list is pretty lacking. You do have access to 2 colors, which is nice. Again, the high mana value of this, though, just really kind of hinders it quite a bit. I think overall, again, I'm thinking like D+, C-. There's quite a few of those in here. I'm going to go with a... Oh, we're panicking now. We're panicking. We're going to go with a C tier commander. Nope, panicking. D. All right, anyways, moving on. Fire Song and Sunspeaker. A 4/6 Minotaur Cleric for 6 mana in total in Boros. Red instant sorcery spells you cast have a lifelink. Whenever a white instant sorcery spell causes you to gain life, Fire Song Sunspeaker does 3 damage to target creature or player. Yeah, I mean, typically you're going to be building around that first aspect of it, essentially turning all of your, red wrath effects essentially into just massive life gain effects. Just saying, oh yeah, Blasphemous Act, all the creatures. Oh, okay, cool, I gain an absurd amount of life, like hundreds and hundreds of life. So yeah, this is a commander that can just pad your life total to an absurd amount, use something like Aetherflex Reservoir to take your opponents out. This commander can be quite powerful again, even though you are in Boros, which is one of the, it used to definitely be with the weakest, color combination. Still, it's still pretty good these days. It's getting better and better and better. And now, yeah, this commander says, let's really take advantage of all those things that red does so well. Use all those life gain effects to really benefit you as well, too. Overall, yeah, commander can get off control pretty quickly. I'm going to throw this one up in the B tier. Moving on, Aloro Ageless Ascetic, a 4/5 giant soldier for 6 mana in total in Esper colors. Beginning of your upkeep, you gain 2 life. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 1. If you do, you draw a card and each opponent loses 1 life. Beginning of your upkeep, if Aloro, the Ageless Ascetic is in your command zone, you gain 2 life. Basically, Eminence for that last part. So yeah, just a free thing that you get, which is already incredibly powerful, and I personally don't like Eminence, so, I mean, I'm not going to knock this commander because I don't like Eminence, even though I knocked Willowdusk, I guess, earlier because I don't like activating on sorcery speed for most things. But yes, I'm going to say that, hey, Eminence is just kind of like a cheat code because it's basically like a ley line that you start off with that is just untouchable. Your opponents cannot stop that from happening, essentially. So, yeah. you're just going to be gaining a lot of free life throughout the game. You can have a lot of other effects out there that like benefit you whenever you're gaining life. Obviously, when this is in play, you also can utilize for a lot of card advantage. It's in very solid colors. Yeah, overall, a very, very solid commander. I'm going to go with a B tier commander. Next up, Rodolph, Duskbringer, a 4/4 vampire angel. I always want to say Rudolph. Rodolph, Duskbringer, a 4/4 vampire angel with flying, death touch, and lifelink for 6 mana in total. This one is actually an Orzhov commander, though. Beginning of your end step, you may pay 1 in Orzhov colors. When you do, return target creature card with mana value X less from your grave to the battlefield, or X amount of life you gain this turn. So basically, this one can be decently hard to deal with again, getting indestructible when you are gaining life. It can also bring back creatures. It does require some setup to get there. It is pretty high in the mana value. I think overall, my gut is saying that this one, in comparison to others, is it's either D or C. Again, there's a lot of commanders out there that just kind of aren't up to that middle tier. So yeah, I'm going to go with a D tier commander. Moving on, Beledros Witherbloom, gross. A 4/4 Elder Dragon with flying that costs 7 mana in total in Golgari. Beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with. When this creature dies, you gain 1 life, pay 10 life, untap all lands you control, activate only once each turn. Okay, so this commander can be incredibly brutal, incredibly effective, and yeah, it does cost 7 mana, but it can give you that mana back right away, essentially, and even more so. Oh, there's some broken things that you can do with this. I mean, it does say activate only once each turn, but also, yeah, if you like sacrifice this and use like a Feigned Death type effect to get it right back out, yeah, you can do that again. Obviously, you've got ways to gain life. This can make creature tokens again at the beginning of each upkeep, not just your upkeep, each upkeep. So with each trip around the table, you're getting 4 tokens that can each gain you life as well. Again, the more important part, though, is that, hey, untapping all lands you control, essentially, being able to do this in absurd amount. Again, only once each turn, so even your opponent's turns, you can do that, too. Yeah, Exsanguinate for a ton of life loss, essentially. Again, mana doublers, mana triplers, whatever it is. Overall, yeah, again, even the high mana value, I might be regretting this, but I'm going to throw this up in the S tier. Again, like a just massive mana effect with that. It's either A or S, in my opinion. I'm going to go with the S tier, although I might regret that with the next one. Oh, okay, well, you know what? Beledros. And I guess Will, too. We're going to throw you down. Might regret that to the A tier, okay? The high mana value, I guess, is kind of limiting a little bit. That being said, Carrick, Son of Yawgmoth, also has a high mana value. That being said, it negates it, essentially, because it is 4 Phyrexian Black, Phyrexian Black, Phyrexian Black. So it's basically 4 and 6 life. A 2/2 horror minion with lifelink that says for each black and a cost, you may pay 2 life rather than pay that cost, basically turning every single one of your black costs into Phyrexian Black mana, which is incredible because, again, it's in a cost, not just like in like the actual mana value of the card. It's actually not mana value, but the actual, cost of the card. It also is activated abilities too. So there's so many broken things that you can do with this one. Top of that, when you cast a black spell, you get a counter on this. You gain more life, I guess, when you hit. But yeah, you need to be able to gain a good amount of life to pad your life total so that you can actually utilize everything to its fullest amount. Yeah, there's some crazy broken things you can do this one. Again, cheating on, life, or cheating on mana with life is absurd. Phyrexian mana is absolutely absurd to have a commander which is built around it. Even though it is mono black, it is so powerful. I'm gonna go with the S tier commander. Anytime you can cheat mana, S tier is probably in the cards. Moving on, finally, Liesa Sanguine Tribune, a 4/4 vampire soldier for 5 red, white, black. Cost 1 less cast for each 1 life you gain this turn. First strike, lifelink, pay 5 life, get 3 counters on it, activate only during your turn, only once each turn. I mean, okay, it is a commander that you can keep cheating on that cost, essentially, and casting for basically 3 mana every single time, as long as you set up properly, even after, you get back to the command zone, etc., etc., etc. First strike, lifelink, it's nice. You can get counters on this, only once each turn, though. Overall, I mean, there are definitely more impactful commanders out there, I think, just compared to the other ones. You do have access to more colors than some of the bottom-tier commanders, though. Because of that, do I throw you up in the C tier for that potential? It's probably a D or C tier commander, though. It's in between those. I think like the hardest ones out of this list are actually, in my opinion, yeah, those D and C tiers. There's a lot of ones that are like very circumstantial on if they would be one or the other. And there aren't really any that really stick out to me as like definitely in this or the other one. Versus like B is pretty solid to me, A is pretty solid to me, and S is very solid on kind of what they are. So yeah, that's my list. I think I feel pretty good overall with where things ended up. Let me know again what your thoughts are on all these, though. What ones do you think actually should have made the list that weren't on this list? Again, I took like EDH Rec and then added some ones that I definitely thought of and like, hey, why don't they have that on there? But also there's definitely some other Lifegain commanders out there that are, well, yeah, not included on this list that probably should have been. So yeah, let me know in the comments below which commanders I made mistakes on in this list, which ones should have included. Yeah, let me know your comments and thoughts then below. And also, yeah, if you are interested in any of these cards, make sure you check out that card list link in the description below. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.